Stage 3. Behavioral reflection and regulation. Objective: to identify trauma-driven behaviors, develop self-awareness, build discipline to regulate emotions, and create a clear path forward. Each step in this stage includes a lesson, reflection questions, and an accountability checkpoint that will be revisited in Stage 4 to measure growth. Step 1. Identifying trauma-driven behaviors. Goal: recognizing how past trauma influences present-day actions and reactions. Lesson: how trauma shapes habits, coping mechanisms, and behavioral patterns. Trauma often conditions the brain to operate in survival mode, leading to habits and coping mechanisms that feel protective but may be unhealthy or limiting. These behaviors develop as a way to manage pain, fear, or uncertainty. Some people turn to avoidance, ignoring emotions or difficult situations, while others rely on impulsivity, seeking distractions, thrill-seeking, or reckless behavior to escape emotional distress. Signs of trauma-driven behaviors, e.g., avoidance, impulsivity, self-sabotage. Avoidance: distracting oneself through overworking, excessive screen time, or substance use to avoid confronting painful feelings. Impulsivity: making rash decisions, overspending, or engaging in risky behaviors due to emotional dysregulation. Self-sabotage: pushing people away, procrastinating on opportunities, or undermining success due to fear of failure or rejection. Hyperindependence: believing you can't rely on others, leading to emotional isolation and burnout. People-pleasing, fawn response: ignoring personal needs to keep others happy out of fear of conflict or abandonment. How unhealed trauma affects relationships, work, and personal choices. In relationships, trauma can create trust issues, fear of intimacy, or patterns of unhealthy attachment, making it hard to form stable connections. At work, it may lead to perfectionism, burnout, avoidance of leadership roles, or difficulty handling criticism due to deep-seated fears of failure or rejection. Personal choices. Trauma can cause self-doubt, difficulty setting boundaries, or staying in toxic environments because it feels familiar, even if harmful. Reflection. Questions. 1. What behaviors do I engage in that may be rooted in trauma? 2. How do these behaviors impact my relationships and personal growth? 3. What fears or beliefs keep me repeating these behaviors? Accountability. Checkpoint. Identify one recurring behavior you believe is tied to past trauma. Revisit in Stage 4 to assess if you've made progress in breaking the cycle. Journal exercise, identifying trauma-driven behaviors. Track a week of behaviors, reactions, emotions, habits. Identify which are rooted in trauma. What daily habits or reactions are rooted in trauma? How do these behaviors serve me? How do they hurt me? What is one behavior I'm ready to change? Step 2. Recognizing self-sabotage. Goal: understanding and overcoming behaviors that prevent growth and success. Lesson: what is self-sabotage, and why do we engage in it? Self-sabotage is when we unconsciously undermine our own success, happiness, or well-being. It often comes from deep-seated fears, low self-worth, or unresolved trauma that make progress feel unsafe or undeserved. Even when we consciously want success, our subconscious may resist change because staying in familiar patterns, even negative ones, feels more comfortable than facing the unknown. Common forms of self-sabotage: procrastination, perfectionism, fear of success. Procrastination: delaying tasks due to fear of failure, judgment, or perfectionism. Perfectionism: setting unrealistic standards, leading to constant self-criticism and burnout. Fear of success: avoiding opportunities due to anxiety about increased responsibility, visibility, or potential disappointment. Negative self-talk, believing you're not good enough, leading to hesitation or quitting before even trying. Overcommitting, taking on too much to avoid focusing on personal growth or healing. How to reframe failure and embrace progress over perfection. 1. Redefine failure. Instead of seeing failure as proof of inadequacy, view it as a learning opportunity that helps you grow. 2. Take small steps. Focus on consistent progress rather than waiting for the perfect moment to act. 3. Challenge negative thoughts. Ask, would I say this to a friend? And replace harsh self-judgment with self-compassion. 4. Acknowledge success. Celebrate small wins, reinforcing the belief that you are capable and deserving of progress. 5. Allow imperfection. Understand that growth is messy, and mistakes are part of the process. The goal is progress, not perfection. Reflection. Questions. 1. Have I ever knowingly or unknowingly sabotaged my own progress? How? 2. What thoughts or fears contribute to my self-sabotaging habits? 3. How can I create an environment that supports my success? Accountability. Checkpoint. Identify one self-sabotaging behavior and a plan to counteract it. Revisit in Stage 4 to track improvements. Journal exercise. Emotional regulation and self-control. Develop a 3-step calming strategy for stressful situations. How do I usually handle emotional distress? What are 3 healthy ways I can manage stress? What triggers me the most, and how can I handle it differently? Step 3. Emotional regulation and self-discipline. Goal. Developing control over emotional reactions and practicing self-discipline. Lesson. Why emotional regulation is crucial for healing. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage emotions in a healthy way rather than letting them control your thoughts and actions. Trauma can make emotions feel overwhelming, hyperreactivity, or numb, emotional shutdown, leading to impulsive reactions or avoidance. Learning to regulate emotions helps create stability, resilience, and a sense of control, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react instinctively. Strategies for managing emotions, breathing exercises, grounding techniques, journaling. Journaling. Writing down emotions helps process them logically rather than being overwhelmed by them. Movement. Activities like walking, stretching, or dancing help release built-up tension. Self-talk. Replace negative thoughts with affirmations like, I am safe, or this feeling will pass. The role of self-discipline in long-term healing. Healing is a long-term process, requiring commitment and consistency. Self-discipline helps maintain emotional regulation by practicing coping skills even when you don't feel like it, setting boundaries to protect your mental health, making intentional choices instead of acting on impulse, staying committed to self-care and growth, even after setbacks. Reflection. Questions. 1. When I feel triggered, how do I usually respond? 2. Do I struggle with emotional outbursts or shutting down completely? 3. What daily practice can I commit to that will help me regulate my emotions better? Accountability. Checkpoint. Choose one emotional regulation technique to practice consistently. Revisit in Stage 4 to see how your emotional control has improved. Journal exercise, breaking self-sabotaging habits. List a habit that has kept you stuck. Create a replacement habit that fosters growth. What is one way I've sabotaged my own happiness? Why do I think I repeat these self-sabotaging behaviors? What's one habit I can replace with a healthier one? Step 4. Healing through healthy habits. Goal. replacing harmful coping mechanisms with constructive habits. Lesson: the impact of daily habits on emotional and mental well-being. Your daily habits shape your emotional and mental state more than you realize. Small repeated actions either strengthen resilience or reinforce stress and negativity. Unhealthy habits like doom scrolling, isolation, or avoidance can keep you stuck in trauma responses, while positive habits like movement, mindfulness, and self-reflection help rewire the brain for healing. Consistently practicing self-care, rest, and emotional awareness creates long-term stability and mental clarity. Replacing unhealthy coping mechanisms with positive habits. Instead of numbing with social media, try journaling or mindful reflection. Instead of emotional eating or substance use, practice breathing exercises or grounding techniques. Instead of isolation, engage in healthy social connections, even if small. Instead of self-criticism, reframe thoughts with self-compassion and affirmations. The importance of consistency and patience in habit building. Small steps matter. Change happens gradually. Focus on progress, not perfection. Repetition rewires the brain. The more you practice healthy habits, the easier they become. Be kind to yourself. Setbacks are normal, but what you do next matters most. Reflection. Questions. 1. What unhealthy habits have I relied on to cope with stress? 2. What healthy habits can I introduce into my daily routine? 3. How can I stay consistent even when motivation is low? Accountability. Checkpoint. Select one new habit to integrate into your daily routine. Revisit in Stage 4 to evaluate its impact on your healing. Journal exercise. Developing self-discipline. Write down one action you commit to daily for self-improvement. What is one area of my life that lacks structure or consistency? How can I introduce more discipline into my healing process? What's one daily action I commit to starting today? Step 5. Rebuilding trust in yourself. Goal: restoring self-confidence and learning to trust your own decisions. Lesson: how trauma damages self-trust and decision-making. Trauma can make you doubt your instincts, second-guess decisions, and struggle with confidence. If past experiences involved betrayal, manipulation, or lack of control, you might feel unsure about your ability to make good choices. Over time, this can lead to indecisiveness, fear of failure, and reliance on others for validation, making it hard to trust yourself. The importance of setting and keeping personal commitments. Self-trust is built when your actions align with your intentions. Each time you break a promise to yourself, e.g., skipping self-care, staying in toxic situations, avoiding difficult tasks, your brain learns that you can't rely on yourself. Keeping small commitments, like waking up on time, completing a task, or honoring your boundaries, strengthens your confidence and belief in yourself. Steps to rebuild self-trust through small, consistent actions. 1. Start small. Set realistic, manageable goals, e.g., I will journal for 5 minutes instead of I will write a book. 2. Follow through. Keep commitments to yourself even if they're minor. 3. Listen to your intuition. Pay attention to gut feelings and validate your own needs. 4. Forgive yourself. Healing isn't about perfection. Setbacks are part of the process. 5. Celebrate progress. Acknowledge even small victories to reinforce self-trust. Reflection. Questions. 1. Do I trust myself to make good decisions? Why or why not? 2. Have past mistakes made me afraid of trusting myself? 3. What is one way I can rebuild confidence in my own judgment? Accountability. Checkpoint. Identify a small promise to yourself that you will keep, e.g., setting boundaries, following through on goals. Revisit in stage 4 to determine if your self-trust has strengthened. Journal exercise, setting and maintaining boundaries. Identify 3 boundaries you need to set and why. Where in my life do I need stronger boundaries? Why do I struggle to say no when I need to? How can I begin enforcing my boundaries with confidence? Step 6. The role of boundaries in healing. Goal: setting and maintaining boundaries to protect emotional well-being. Lesson: what healthy boundaries look like in relationships, work, and personal life. Boundaries are the limits you set to protect your well-being and ensure healthy interactions. They help define what is acceptable and what isn't in different areas of life. In relationships, saying no to disrespect, prioritizing your needs, and communicating openly. At work, setting limits on workload, maintaining a work-life balance, and advocating for yourself. Personal life, protecting your time, energy, and emotions from unhealthy influences. How to recognize when boundaries are being crossed. You feel exhausted, resentful, or overwhelmed after interacting with someone. You say yes when you want to say no, leading to burnout. People guilt trip, pressure, or ignore your limits. Your personal space, emotions, or time are not respected. Overcoming guilt and fear when enforcing boundaries. Remind yourself that boundaries protect your well-being, not just your comfort. Start small. Practice saying no in low-risk situations before tackling bigger challenges. Understand that healthy people respect boundaries. Those who don't may not have your best interests in mind. Let go of people-pleasing. Prioritizing your needs doesn't mean you're selfish. Affirm your right to protect yourself. I deserve relationships that respect my limits. Reflection. Questions. 1. Have I struggled with setting or maintaining boundaries? Why? 2. In what areas of my life do I need stronger boundaries? 3. How can I communicate my boundaries effectively? Accountability. Checkpoint. Set at least one boundary in an area of your life where it is needed. Revisit in stage 4 to evaluate if your ability to uphold boundaries has improved. Journal exercise. Building a resilient mindset. List 3 affirmations to remind yourself of your strength. How have I grown stronger from past hardships? What's one lesson I've learned from my struggles? How can I shift my mindset to focus on growth? Step 7. Defining your path forward goal. Creating a vision for your future, free from trauma's control. Lesson. The importance of having a long-term healing vision. Healing isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of growth, self-awareness, and resilience. A long-term vision helps you stay focused and motivated even when setbacks occur. Instead of seeing healing as just feeling better, envision the person you want to become. Mentally strong, emotionally balanced, and in control of your life. Having this vision gives you purpose and direction, making the process more intentional. How to align daily actions with your healing goals. Identify small, consistent habits, e.g., journaling, practicing self-care, setting boundaries. Choose progress over perfection. Some days will be easier than others, but every effort counts. Surround yourself with supportive influences, books, therapy, mentors, or positive relationships. Track your growth, reflect on how far you've come and adjust your approach as needed. Developing resilience and adaptability in your journey. Expect setbacks. They're part of healing, not signs of failure. Reframe challenges as learning experiences rather than obstacles. Be flexible. Your healing path may change, and that's okay. Practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that healing takes time, and progress isn't linear. Reflection. Questions. 1. What kind of person do I want to become beyond my trauma? 2. What steps can I take now to move toward that version of myself? 3. How will I handle setbacks without falling back into old patterns? Accountability. Checkpoint. Write a vision statement for the person you are becoming. Revisit in stage 4 to see how much of this vision has become reality. Journal exercise. Creating a sustainable healing plan. Write a weekly self-check-in plan to assess your growth. What does long-term healing look like for me? How will I measure my progress over time? What's one promise I will make to my future self? Complete these exercises before moving to stage 4. How this will be revisited in stage 4. In the final stage, each accountability checkpoint from stage 3 will be reviewed to measure personal growth. How trauma-driven behaviors have changed. If self-sabotaging habits have decreased. Whether emotional regulation techniques have helped you maintain control. If you've successfully replaced negative coping mechanisms with healthy habits. How your self-trust has evolved and whether you now follow through on personal commitments. If your boundaries have strengthened and are being respected. Whether your vision for healing has become clearer and more attainable.